Hi guys, what's good? Today I want to talk about why you shouldn't be watching me and other self-improvement YouTubers, right? So basically, we start by saying that I know I haven't uploaded consistently, but that's part of the reason why you shouldn't be watching me, right? I preach consistency a lot, right? But thing is, we're all human. We all kind of fall off on the consistency thing because life gets in the way. You know what I mean? That's like one of the first like red flags, right? These YouTubers, all they do is sit in their house like the whole day. Probably just go to the gym, right? They sit in their house, record 4 or 5 videos, and then preach that you have to be on self-improvement 24/7. There's no room for anything else, and that's just how life is and stuff like that, right? You could do it by all means. I want you to try doing that yourself, right? You'll find out that it's a super lonely path, first of all, and kind of become this weird person. Anything you set out to do other than making money, you're probably not gonna achieve it, right? You're gonna be this like social or like basically antisocial. You know what I mean? You're gonna become this you're gonna start developing social anxiety. You're gonna get like this boosted ego from comments and stuff, right? So that's your first red flag right there. Why you shouldn't be watching self-improvement YouTubers, and you shouldn't be watching me either, right? Maybe watch one or two videos, right, that help you, but don't be watching every single thing because it kind of becomes a cycle of inaction, right? You watch every single video of mine, and then you just don't take the information. You're just watching it for entertainment. There's no difference if you're watching like this and over and over again and not taking action compared to like watching Mr. Beast or any other like movie or whatever, right? Have fun, man. There's a reason there's movies. There's a reason there's all of this stuff. But don't this like I said, it's always a balance, right? You don't want to be too far gone with these YouTube videos and forms of entertainment and stuff. But at the same time, you don't want to be like someone who doesn't do it at all, right? I know Hamza, he preaches that a lot. I do agree with him on the video games and like not playing video games. Even me, I have like a whole console. I don't know which side to go. Whatever. See the controller. See the controller there. I have a whole console there, but I do not play it. Like, I swear to God, don't play any games on my console, right? I have both a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox Series S. Both of them over there. And you know what I use them for? YouTube and Netflix. That's what I use them for. Because I like watching movies. And I like to get information from YouTube videos, right? I watch those Animal Planet videos. I don't know. Recently, I like those like animal related content. I find it interesting because it tells you a lot about yourself as well, right? So watching too many self-improvement YouTubers is just gonna be like a cycle of inaction. You're just switching your. Granted, there's probably more benefit watching only self-improvement YouTubers, but it doesn't matter if you're not taking action. That's the bottom line, right? So you need to avoid that cycle of inaction, and you need to focus on doing the work. And when you mess up somewhere, that's when you watch the video. You know what I mean? I'm not saying don't watch videos at all. Just understand why you're watching them, right? It's all balance. It also kind of makes you confused. Like, one time these YouTubers are gonna say certain things and they're gonna say other things after, because they're learning with you, right? So you should just realistically maybe read a book, right? Maybe follow your religion, right? All these things I would argue are more beneficial. Beneficiary is someone who benefits from it, but it's more beneficial if you like do these things rather than like read books and follow religion, rather than watch some random self-improvement YouTuber, right? Because you're gonna learn eventually, right? Hamza's gonna come to a point where he's like, yeah, my life is kind of too imbalanced, right? And thing is, I'm not telling you to stop working. I'm not telling you to stop self-improving. I'm just telling you to switch the content you're watching. Right? Don't make it like they kind of make you dependent on watching them. Right? Watch the Andrew Huberman videos, right, where he gives you the information. Implement those. Don't keep watching Andrew Huberman videos and focusing on 10, 20 things, right? At the end of the day, you can only focus on certain things that you could improve. You can't focus on every single thing that you're going to improve. You can't be like, tomorrow I'm going to do this, going to do this, going to do that. You're going to come crashing down, right? So first, like for me, example, right? It was Canada Day here, right? Because I live in Canada. So kind of it was like a long weekend, right? So I was just chilling with friends, chilling with family, not caring too much about my diet, not caring too much about like what I'm doing necessarily, right? I didn't even go to the gym for like the last 4 days, right? And gym is kind of taking like a back step for me. That's how it is, bro. You can't focus on too many things because I'm focusing on this, so gym is gonna take like a back step. And by back step, I mean I'm still training 4 days a week. I'm still training most of the week. It's just I'm not going 6 days a week, right? So it's all part of a balance. You need to really figure out where your focus is and just focus it on that one area. You can't just let yourself get confused by too many YouTubers. You can't take too much advice all the time, right? When that happens, you're gonna get confused, like super confused, right? Also, it feeds into their fake egos and stuff, right? These YouTubers, they see the comments, they see all of this stuff, and they kind of think, oh shit, like I'm that guy. Like these comments kind of get to their head. You know, everything I'm talking about, First Man talked about on his last, like Chris from First Man, he talked about in his last video. He said he's ending First Man because this is how the manosphere has become, right? Watch that video. That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Don't become too dependent on self-improvement YouTubers. Then you kind of just take what they say as everything for granted, right? You gotta take the information and become your own person, right? Just being cool, like this whole thing about like being cool, is just being yourself, man. Honestly, it's just being yourself. Don't try to be something you're not. Don't try to do something that's like something completely out of your character, right? Focus on what your character is, and that doesn't mean you're being in your comfort zone. You don't take my shit as an excuse. That's another thing. You guys who are lazy, you take everything I say as an excuse. When I say you got a little balance, you go too unbalanced on the other side, right? You guys are gonna eat like junk food like for a whole week, no working out, no nothing, and even though you could, and you'll be like, no, fucking Zena told me this, right? I didn't tell you guys this. I didn't tell you to do any of this shit. You guys decided to do this on your own, right? Or Shashank told me to do this. That's what you're gonna say. Just don't, right? And that leads to my next point. Most of these guys are false prophets. Most of these guys just flaunt, like how they flaunt things too much, right? They're not like actual real men. They kind of say 9 to 5 is not necessary. Sometimes 9 to 5 is necessary, bro. Focus on what your dreams are. Like this whole thing, I want to get rich, it's not made for every single person, right? You try to take on too much. Like you're not gonna get rich and have a 9 to 5 and be a dentist or be a pediatrician or doctor or engineer and architect. Like you gotta be reasonable. Don't lose your logic. That's what I'm trying to say, you know? Shout out to the rapper Logic, but don't use your don't lose your common sense, basically, right? Someone's full of shit, they're full of shit, right? And see, I'm not saying like I'm the only one that's like this, but I literally don't care about views. I don't care about subscribers. I don't give a shit if you dislike this video. I don't care if 2 people watch this video, right? I'm just putting out what I feel like is necessary, right? And what God wants me to put out, and it's going where it's going, and you can see it's going good. That's because God wants people to hear this, right? I'm religious, so I'm saying that for myself. It doesn't mean you gotta be too, right? So, you know, you just gotta call someone's bullshit out when they're full of bullshit. That's all I'm trying to say. Alright, it's all on you guys.
I've been looking for